Do you want to see how easily you can outsell your competitors? Let me show you this strategy right here. And guess what? A lot of big major companies are using this strategy. Let me show you how it works. Here we have business A and business B. They're both competitors. They both have the same product or service. It doesn't really matter. Now, they both do paid ads, which most businesses do, and it's optimized, getting good returns on it. That's great. The only difference is business A has content. Now this is proper content. It's not sales pitches, it's not ads, it's, they're not sales videos just posted on social media. It's proper content, long form content, and they have it down to a T, okay? So business A and business B, and what this is here is the customer journey, how we actually buy. Now this is my interpretation of the buying process, and this is what I go through, and you might go through the same thing as so many of your customers. So we got business A and business B. I'm going to start at stage 2 at the buying cycle, and stage 2 is what I call you could become problem aware. And when I become problem aware like you might need a new car, new phone, you might need a new service for your business. You might need something like that, a bit of machinery, a camera, some lighting, whatever. But I do 2 things in this phase. And what I do is Google and I YouTube. And I might Google best X, Y, and Z, and I YouTube the exact same thing. And what you will find, and what you've probably found yourself is, in this phase, ads don't work. And there's no content. This company doesn't have any content. But what we'll start to see is we'll see this company popping up for all different types of content. And we'll start noticing this company right here. Company A, we'll start to see a lot of content on our feeds pop up. You know how it is when you go down these rabbit holes. But in that phase, and we're just kind of making our initial inquiries, who sells it, who does this service, who does it, we're seeing this company name pop up quite a lot because the targeting ads haven't targeted us yet, nothing like that. So it's literally organic at this stage, which moves us on to stage 3. Once we kind of know who's out there, who's doing it, and who's selling it, this is where we research. And this is the biggest phase, probably, for anything. And we go down this rabbit hole and we consume content. This is where we really consume content. So this is where this becomes extremely valuable because it's not a sales pitch. We're not interested in listening to sales pitches. We're not interested in ads. We want to know the benefits of the products, the service. We want to know how to actually implement it. Think about anything that you do. It's always those long form videos. This is where reviews, all that sort of stuff comes in, and it's all driven by content, organic content. It really is. So you can see by the first 2 stages. Now there is a stage before this, but I'll go into that in a different time. That's when we're not problem aware. You can see how valuable this can be over time. And then the ads, they still don't kick in yet, but arguably number 4 right here is probably where the buy actually happens. And you'll hear this talked about a lot, but stage 4 is emotional. This is where we emotionally make it, and we say, oh, I love this content, I love this product, I gotta have it, I gotta do it. For myself in this stage, I'll start showing videos to my wife, and trust me, I'm not showing her sales pitches or ads. I'm showing her actual content, 10, 15-minute videos about these things. So I'm dragged towards this content. This is where I emotionally actually buy it, and I've made the decision. If you're like me, this is where it'll happen for you. I gotta have that car, I've gotta have that light, this is the camera I want, this is whatever it may be. I have to have this service for my business. Whereas I can't emotionally attach to an ad or just sales pitches. I just can't do it. I'm not gonna show it. The next stage though is where the ads will kick in. But remember, these 2 guys have ads running at the same time. And I'm gonna break it down even further for you, but I wanna keep it really simple. So stage 5 is where we rationalize the purchase. In this stage of rationalization, like there's loads of things like long warranties, brand new car, I won't have to repair it, it's going to cost less over time. All these things we rationalize it after we've emotionally made the purchase. So in this rationalization phase, content helps because it always helps. And this is where ads will come in because we'll be starting to get targeted from our activity. But remember, this company here has ads as well. So you can see by this already, the content it's very powerful along the way. And when you rationalize these purchases, this is the kind of stuff you do. Like this is what I do. I go down that rabbit hole on YouTube. I go down and I start to delve more into it. And when I become problem aware, research, I emotionally get attached to it, I rationalize it. By this stage, the purchase has already been made, but then I actually go out to buy the product or service and I actually do it. And this is stage 6, actually making the buy. So when it comes to this stage in the cycle, I'm heavily going to lean towards this person. Company A has got me all the time because they've put so much value into it at this stage that it's a no-brainer for me. You know, they have authority, they've opened up authority. I like them because they're giving me the information that I needed. But they've done something as well. They've held my hand all the way through the process. And if you can do that and your competitors are only doing ads, this is where it's a major, major advantage. The only problem is a lot of companies don't actually make content like this. And that's a real thing. They put sales pitches into videos and put it out and then wonder why it doesn't get traction. It's because they're not actually holding the hand of the buyer all the way through the process. The beauty of this system is because it can drag so many people in from start to finish, you unlock a lot. Let's give them a market size so it's manageable in numbers. We're not talking calculator numbers, but let's say there's a market size of, where will I write it? Let's say there's a market size of 1,000 people in the market. Now, there's obviously more in the market, but we're just breaking it down. You know, when you just do ads, you're generally only going to get the 3% of people who are willing to buy now. That's the reality. And you can build a really, really good business on it. And this is the traditional method of building businesses. So with that, that'd be the 3% of the pie. Now, when it comes to company A, this is the modern way of doing it. And they are engaging 100% of their audience, of their niche. So they have access to all 1,000 of their buyers, not 3%. And this is massive. This is huge because this is where numbers really play in. Because if you have access to 100% of the market, it's unbelievable. Let's say company B was able to convert a 20%, and company A was able to convert a 10%. So half the conversions, and it'd probably be way the other way because they've handheld all the way, unless these are heavily discounted, but these will definitely get a higher conversion rate, but I'm just gonna lower it for you guys. So if we take 3% of that, of the 1,000 people, that's 30 people. That's 30 people, yeah? In that they're speaking to through their ads. That's only 30 people. And then if they convert 20% of them, that's 6 sales they've got. And now that might be good. Their ROAS might be big on that. The return, great. But because these guys, they've got the full market to play with because they've walked the whole process. Their content even actually goes to stage 1, which is they're problem unaware. But if they convert at 10%, which is less, they convert 100 sales, which way outdoes the 6 sales by a massive, massive margin. You could cut that down. You could give them 5% and they'll still do better, simply because they've built up so much authority, liking, they've built up all this respect and so much value within their content that's not sales pitches, but actually really valuable, that walks a buyer right from problem aware to the time of the purchase. This is where big new companies are able to take over. This was the old way of doing it. This is the new way of doing it. And when these are merged together, when ads and content are merged together, this is where it really, really gets powerful. And a lot of companies are kind of stuck in here because they get good ROAS, and yeah, they can make good money off this. But the problem is they are only targeting 3%, 7% at most of the market. They're the people in that area, but this targets 100% your market. And that's why big companies put out a lot of content. This is why they're moving to this model much, much more, because the numbers speak for themselves. The trick is learning how to make content that does this, because sales pitches won't work. If you're just constantly pitching at your customers on social media, you'll see drop off in engagement. And anything, I mean anything, if you have anything that's €500 or more, that's going to make people think. You need to be making long form content, because if you're not, nobody's going to buy products 1,000, 10,000 off a 30-second 1 minute video. It's not going to happen. Anything from 500 plus, long form content is going to make this process a lot easier. So when they actually go out to buy, they only think of you. It doesn't matter what kind of discounts, what kind of ads these guys have, because you've built up so much value and respect in that. If you do want to learn how to make content like that, there is a link down below. I'll leave it down for you. And I hope you enjoyed that. And if you have any questions, drop them down below. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.